This is Chloe, ABC Pilbara.
I wonder if you or one of your kids are gamers. What are your favourite games? I wonder if they are games that are being developed right here in the Pilbara or from other regional parts of Australia. Red Dog Studios is a new game developer based right here in Karratha. They're the Pilbara's first game development studio, and they're part of a bigger pattern of emerging regional game development. ABC Pilbara's Kimberly Putland has the story.
When you think of the Pilbara, you might think of the mining industry. But what about the gaming industry? The global gaming industry is now worth an estimated $300 billion, and one studio is hoping to stake out its own piece of the pie in WA's northwest. Jaya McPhail is the founder of Red Dog Studios, the Pilbara's first game developer based in Karratha, about 1,530 kilometres north of Perth.
So we're making a mass multiplayer role-playing game online called The Farlands. The Farlands is a medieval fantasy game where players can go and explore, craft and adventure with their friends.
The Farlands is Red Dog Studios' pilot game, currently in the early stages of development. And Jai says regional Western Australia is the perfect place for it.
I love the community in Karratha. I've been here this time around for 5 years, but I did primary school back here in the early 2000s, and I think it's a great place to be. It's also fantastic in regards to the natural solar energy we've got here, particularly with this sort of industry. Everything requires power, and it does give us the foundation to build a fully carbon neutral studio, which is brilliant.
Associate Dean of Digital Design from RMIT University, Li Ping Thong, says game development can definitely be viable in the bush.
Games are actually a major global industry. It's one of the fastest growing creative sectors in Australia.
Like a lot of creative media industries, game development has become more accessible in recent years.
It's democratized in a way because you no longer need to be in a city-based studio or you need major funding, because a lot of game engines these days, they are a lot more accessible and oftentimes very free as well. The decentralization of these tools and this access to learning, it actually makes game development, because it's so much more accessible. You can technically make your game from any town, any regional or even remote areas, from your community center with community, and then you can actually share it.
And local governments are keen to back the industry too. The City of Karratha granted Red Dog Gaming $20,000 funding to support the project. Mayor Daniel Scott says it's a step towards diversifying the local economy.
Usually we're dealing with large industries here in the city of Karratha. But what we do know is that gaming development is one of the fastest growing sectors in the global digital economy. So we thought, well, if we've got a young entrepreneur who's in this space and wants to try to achieve this, then we have our grant programs that are available for this sort of thing.
It may be the Pilbara's first, but Red Dog Studios isn't the only game developer in regional Australia. Dr. Paris Butfield-Addison is the president of Tasmanian Game Makers Inc. and one of the founders of Tasmania's longest-running game studio, Secret Lab Games.
It's very, very realistic to make a game in regional Australia right now. It never used to be. It's now trivial because of a couple of things. First of those is widespread high-speed internet is a thing. Whether you're on something like Starlink or the NBN, it's now good enough that you can work from anywhere. We are based in Tasmania, which the whole of the state is technically some level of regional. It's not quite as regional as the Pilbara, but it's still pretty regional. Game development is fundamentally a digital export. It's weightless. It's something you ship around the internet. So the internet itself has, equalised the playing field in many ways, and it's much easier now.
In the Northern Territory, Salty Games is the developer of Pasture, the livestock simulator, which is in the late stages of development.
When we started, we didn't really know if there was going to be any support for the game, and there were no grants available or anything like that. And then shortly after we started, sort of federal grants opened up and territory grants, so that helped kick us along.
That's Nathan Groves, the creative director of Salty Games.
It's certainly challenging being in a regional area, but these days with the internet available and fast computers and free to use sort of game engines, it really wouldn't have been possible without those developments happening.
Game makers in the regions have more access than ever before, and Dr. Li Ping Thong says it can make games better.
It is very exciting because regional game makers, they would actually make they bring a difference in terms of the way the games that they design would have a difference in terms of the rhythm and sensibility. Their work would sometimes draw on place, climate, community. So it's more thoughtful and a different kind of aesthetics and style and the different kinds of game design as well. That feels more grounded in kind of like a lived experience.
Back in the Pilbara, Jaya McPhail has high hopes for the Firelands.
Ultimately, yes, we would love this to go internationally. We want to tackle the problem of, particularly with any game, people spend a lot of time, and that is a big one, a lot of time, a lot of effort, and potentially a lot of money on game titles. Whether it's a racing simulator, like Forza, whether it's Grand Theft Auto, RuneScape, whatever it might be. But the inherent problem is once the game releases a sequel or potentially the service shut down or the company stops, the game finishes.
Nathan Groves says he's excited for the future of regional game development.
The main problem is just the transfer of skills now in regional areas. That can be done through mentoring and stuff. Obviously, it's better to be in person, but there's also great initiatives that are being done. For example, the Interactive Games and Entertainment Association had a mentorship course that I was a part of, and that was like a year-long sort of fortnightly meeting, hour-long meeting with a mentor. For me, that's the last puzzle piece to getting regional developers to be able to just work and build games from where they are.
Kimberly Putland with that story there on Red Dog Studios, the Pilbara's first game development studio, and the emergence of regional game development.